Hi everyone, a few weeks ago I had the honor to present at Data Farm Europe in London. It was a really great event, but unfortunately none of the presentation were recorded. A lot of people have asked if they could see the presentation, so here we are today, it's available on YouTube. So for those who don't know me, my name is Tristan Guillevin and you can find me anywhere at La Data Viz. I am working with Jessica Bautista, Latina Viz, and together we are working in our company, La Data Viz. We are Tableau partner, I'm Tableau Visionary Ambassador and 2017 Aaron Viz Champion. Earlier this year, one of the huge success we had was that Tableau decided to invite us to showcase our work during Devs on Stage. So it was a huge honor that Tableau decided to showcase the product that we have built. And that is what I want to show you today. We are on a mission to revolutionize your Tableau experience. We really want to help you solve your everyday challenge in Tableau faster than ever. So today we are going to talk about four main things. First, advanced visualization, then a recap on how we got there. Then we are going to talk about faster dashboard, how you can build dashboard faster than ever without having to struggle with containers. And finally, a new product called Filter Manager. So let's start with advanced visualization. 2 years ago, I released a network generator for Tableau. This tool is available on our website and it's really easy to use. You just select your file, you configure your network, and once you are ready, you can click on Export to download the exact same visualization that you have on the website, but this time in Tableau. This first generator was a huge success, and actually we continued in that path and we released more visualization like the Sankey, the Core, the B-Swarm, the String Graph, and more. And all of those are the same principle. You go on a web page, you select your data, you configure the visualization, and then you can export that visualization really easily. There are two main issues with that product. The first issue is that you have to go through that external service, AddViz, on our website, that package JavaScript and D3 to configure your visualization and then export it to Tableau. So if you have new data points or if anything change in your data, you cannot simply click and refresh. You have to re-put your data in our website, just reconfigure your visualization and then export it again, right? So you have to all the time do that process if you want to refresh your data. So of course, this tool is not meant for business scenario where your data change. This tool is really meant for Tableau public visualization or journalists where your data is really static. So that was a bit of an issue, and everyone said, oh, I really like AddViz, but I really want to use it to connect it to my data source. So I can filter, I can refresh, and I can do all of the things with my data source. And for us, we really thought that this was not going to be possible, but Tableau released the Viz extension. And the Viz extension was really the beginning of something much bigger for us, that we could really take what we created with AddViz, but in a much bigger scale. So with Viz extension, this time you are not entering any external website to generate your visualization. You stay inside Tableau, you stay in your worksheet, and you can select new marks type like the network marks type or the Sankey marks type, and then create your advanced visualization with just 2 drag and drop. So let me show you how you can use Viz extension. Okay, for this demo, let's start with this dashboard. It's a sample superstore dashboard, but just connected to the European sample superstore data source. So let's open a new worksheet, and starting in Tableau 2024.2, you can find this button under your marks, add extension. So let's say you want to make a network today in 2024, you select network and you will find our network by La Data Viz. So you can open it. And now if you want to do a network using the sample superstore data source, you don't need to go to any external website. You can just put category and source, manufacturer and target, and you will already have a network that you can select, you can zoom in, you can zoom out, you can do many other things. So that's how simple Viz extensions are. So let me show you a few one, and we are going to build a dashboard together. So when you click on add extension, you will find here all the Viz extensions that are available on the exchange. So if you search La Data Viz here, you can see all of the Viz extensions that we have created. And let's say you have buy or developed your own Viz extension, you can load a TRX file, which is also a Viz extension, but that you have the TRX file locally. So let's create a tree diagram. So making a tree, and that's the case for every Viz extension that we have developed, we have this getting started. So we explain you how you can create a tree very easily in Tableau. So in that case, it's extremely easy. You just need to drag and drop dimension on detail. So let's put region, let's put country, and now you can even go to look at the state, but maybe that's a bit too busy. So let's go back to country. Okay, let's say I want to visualize the sales amount, so I can put sales in size. And now I can also put region in color to have each of my region with a specific color. And that's just how easy it is to make a tree diagram now in Tableau with size and color. You don't need any calculation or any formula. You can just simply drag and drop. But of course, we wanted to add much more configuration options to that tree. So if you click on this new button, Format Extension, you will find that there are many configuration options that are also available. So for example, you can change the layout of the tree to have a horizontal layout like this. You could decide to add a root, and say that the root name is total sales. Then you can change the node size, the padding, the opacity, and other things. If you go to color section, you can also decide on which level you have the color and if you want them on the nose, the links, or both. And you can select a palette, like for example, observable 10. I like this palette a lot. And you will see here, total sales is actually a star because there is no single region for that node. It's actually, there is is the total sales, so that there is no specific region. So if you want, you can also change the color of that and say, okay, let's put that in gray. Okay, you can display the legend, you can change the label, some background color, and other things. Okay, once you are ready, you can close this window, and you can see if I click on my different element, I will have a tooltip. I also have the highlight on the different elements, so it really looks and feels like any other Tableau visualization that you would build. Okay, let's save this one as Viz extension, and let's say sales by region. Okay, let's make another visualization, and this time I'm going to select a new Viz extension. Let's take the radar. Radar chart are a type of chart that sports people like a lot, and you will see it again really easy to make a radar chart now in Tableau. So let's put subcategory in spokes. Let's put sales in value, and we already have our first radar chart. And now I can put region in detail to have different color for each of my region. Since we are in Tableau, we can also change, for example, the order of the subcategories by right-click, sort, and then select sort by sales. So here we have now the subcategories sorted by sales. And again, I do have, I can click on the different element. I will have a tooltip that I can click, I can exclude, I can include only, like everything that you know in Tableau is there. Let's go to Format Extension, and you can change again the style of the radar chart. You can change the style of the grid, and let's just go to color and say observable 10, so we have the exact same color. And let me reduce a bit the opacity. Okay, so now between the tree and the radar we have the same color. Let's call that Viz extension sales by subcategory. Okay. Now let's do a third visualization, a kind of easy one, but a lot of people have been trying to find a way to do it easily in Tableau. Let's do a gauge. So gauge is here. Okay. So before you had to do complex calculation, or you had to find a template to do a gauge. If you want to do it today, it's actually really easy. You just take, for example, profit ratio, you put it in value, and then you already have a gauge. So of course you need to format it a bit. So let's go to the format extension, and here we can create our different sections. Let's do 3 sections, one that goes from 0 to 5, one that goes from 5 to 15, and the last one that goes from 15 to 40. Okay, you can also change the color. So let's say the first section will be in red. The second section will be in gray, and maybe if we are good, we can be in blue, like that. Okay, then you can also change the style. For example, I like style 3, which only highlights the current section you are in. And if we go in labels, let's just add a percentage for the score and the ticks. Okay, everything looks good. Let's call that Viz extension profit ratio. And now we can make our dashboard. So again, making a dashboard with Viz extension is really similar to doing a dashboard with any other type of visualization. So let's take our sales by our tree diagram. Let's take our radar here, and let's put our profit ratio on top, like this. And now, because we are in Tableau, again, you can use the use as filter option. Click on it, and now if I select central, north, or south, you can see that my gauge will change and also my radar will change. So I can easily, for example, compare France and UK in my radar. And I could also use the radar as a filter and select binders or machine or any other subcategories to filter my tree and my gauge. Okay, let's call this dashboard Viz Extension and let's save for the moment. What I want to show you also is that you can imagine any type of interaction with Viz Extension, so you don't have to do only visualization, and that recent Viz extension we have created is a drill down filter. So again, drill down filter is something that people have tried to hack their way around in Tableau, but now we have created a way to make it really easily. So let's put again region, country and state, and you can see that I have this drill down menu, but right now it's in a worksheet, it's not doing anything. Let's just call it filter. I'm going to my sales dashboard, and now if I add my filter here on the left and just reduce a bit the size, I can use this as a filter. So this drill down filter as a filter, and if I change the action, so it will be this one, I can say that when I clear the selection, it excludes the values, right? It's exactly what we want. So now if I clear some selection, it filters my value. So I can decide to look only at France and UK maybe, for example, or all. So that's the power of this extension. You don't have to create a visualization. You can really try to imagine any kind of interaction between your data and your worksheet. So that was pretty cool, right? So we have created now 12 Viz extension. We have the drill down filter, we have polar area, we have the radar, everything that I show you and more. So go on Tableau Exchange, check them out, test them, and let us know what you think. Okay, so now the second part of this presentation is how did we get there? So for me, everything started with wanting to be more creative. So this was my very first Tableau Public visualization in 2015. So you can see a map, you can see some bar charts, some KPI and a donut. And then I went to work with different clients. I was a Tableau consultant. And with all of my clients, I was always repeating the same line chart, bar chart, tables, and map. I have nothing against those type of charts. They are really useful. They are really practical. I still use them every day. It's just that if I was going to build a Tableau dashboard, a Tableau Public dashboard, I wanted to be a bit more creative. I wanted to try to see what I could do if I didn't have the constraint of my client. So I started to visualize things that I like. So for example, beer consumption in Europe. I participated to the Iron Viz feeder where I built this visualization about the rainforest, the biodiversities, and the different endangered species. This visualization in the middle allowed me to reach the final of the Iron Viz competition in 2017. The dashboard that I built for the Iron Viz competition is this one, the housing market roller coaster. It's divided in 3 parts, but the main middle part is an animation where I was showing live on stage the housing market crash around 2009-2010. With this visualization, I was actually lucky enough to win the Use Viz competition. And you can see here some local newspaper article. So this is great. I created 3 Tableau Public visualizations that were successful, either Viz of the day or that allow me to win the Use Viz competition. But in the end, if you pay close attention, all of these dashboards, they just have bar chart, line chart, maps, and table. So instead of a line chart, they will have an area chart, but it's basically the same. It's a really standard chart that is part of Tableau. It's part of what Tableau allows you to do, and I didn't create anything out of the box. The main reason for that was my data visualization process. I was using Tableau at every part of my process. I love Tableau, but Tableau is not necessarily the best for UI or for sketching or for development, right? It's great for data exploration and for publishing because you already have the action and everything, but everything around, like to sketch your idea, to imagine new ways of representing your data, Tableau is not necessarily the best for that. So I was in that place where I really discovered a new passion of using Tableau. I got obsessed over it. I was using it every night to visualize things on Tableau Public. Then I achieved the goal of the Use Viz competition, and I couldn't find something new to continue being driven by that passion. So I kind of lose interest. And for almost 2 years, I didn't publish any new visualization or I didn't create anything new with Tableau. And things started to change at Tableau Conference 2019. At that point, I realized that it was time for me to become a beginner again. So how do you become a beginner? Well, you start learning something new. And I focus my learning on three main parts: design with Figma and Webflow, development with Svelte and JavaScript, and all the data side with D3 and Tableau. So after I spent some time learning the basics of these tools, it was time for me to start experimenting with them. So I created many new public visualization. All of those are available on my Tableau public page, where I started to try to find the boundaries of Tableau. What could I do if I was blending Tableau with JavaScript, with Figma? What happened if I use different tools to create my visualization? And you can see those dashboards allow me to be much more creative than before. So after all of this experimentation, it was time for me to share the result of what I learned. The very first thing that I shared was that network generator for Tableau. I was spending a lot of time making network in Tableau, so I wanted to create a tool that would allow other people to make the network. And like I said before, this network generator evolved to become AdViz with 8 more different generators. So that was the sharing part. I spent a lot of time building this AdViz, and then it was time to thrive. So thriving, what does that mean? AdViz itself, that free tool that we built, now has more than 3,000 users, 3,000 people that have created an account in order to use it. And we found more than 300 Tableau public visualization that were built using AdViz, and you can actually find them and see them on our gallery on our website. And among those, there are like 40 Viz of the day. So I'm not saying that they are Viz of the day because they use AdViz, but I believe that this tool allowed people to visualize the data in a new creative way, where that before they could not achieve that, or they could do it, but in a much more difficult way. And then we started to receive comments from people saying that they love our tool, that they used it and it's a game changer. We also said like this comment that I really love, like, thanks for working so hard to make things easy for us in Tableau. And I think that's our mission. I think that's really what we try to do every time with Tableau now. So a year ago, Jessica joined me and La Data Viz became an official Tableau partner. And we started to actually make our business to focus on making things easy in Tableau. So we released different tools, Figma to Tableau plugin, we released a Viz extension, and now we have more than 500 customers that actually paid us to use our tool. So it is a business, it is what we are trying to do, and I really believe there is a space to do this kind of innovative tools with Tableau. So what started as me wanting to be more creative slowly started to change, and today is not about me wanting to be more creative, but it's about helping other people be more creative. And not only more creative, but also more efficient and more productive with Tableau. So the second part is all about being more efficient. So let me show you how you can create faster dashboard in Tableau. So building dashboard in Tableau is an experience that could be improved. There is no way to select multiple elements in a dashboard and put the same border, the same margin, the same padding to multiple elements at the same time. You have to go and click to each and every element one by one. Also, it's really rare to have a really nice layout. As soon as you try to align two elements with a drag and drop, you will end up with tiling containers and tiling containers. And Brittany really summed this really perfectly with like, this is painful. So as I said before, among the things we learned Figma. And Figma, you can really easily select multiple containers. You can change multiple elements at once. And when you try to align things, it actually works. So we started to use a lot Figma to design our dashboard, to design a very first version of our dashboard, a draft to kind of imagine the look of it. But then we always had to recreate that dashboard in Tableau. So to then struggle with the containers and then struggle to try to replicate all of that in Tableau. And at some point, we decided to invest some time to create a plugin that will allow us to convert Figma design to Tableau dashboard automatically in just one click. So I'm going to show you that. But a lot of people also, they made the comment that the product looks great, you can export, but they don't know how to use Figma. So that's why we added a new feature, the generate feature, that allow you to not only export dashboard, but also generate them from zero. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you today. Okay, so we are now in a blank Figma page. And if you want to use the plugin, you can click this button, go to plugin and widget. And if you just search Tableau, you should be able to find Figma to Tableau. Let's click on it. That opens the plugin. And let's say we really have nothing and we don't know how to use Figma. So you can go to the Generate tab here. give a name. So for example, sales, say if you want a filter or a navigation pane, select how many worksheets you want and just click generate. That will already generate a dashboard. Of course, at this point that dashboard is in Figma, but let's say that is exactly the layout that you want in Tableau. You can click on this dashboard, go to export and say export dashboard. This will create a template file, Tableau file. And if we open that file, you will see that we will have the exact same design that we have in Figma, but now in Tableau. So I didn't have to create any containers. I didn't have to struggle. And if we look at the layout, you can see here that everything is in order. Everything is well organized in named containers. All of the padding, the margin, everything is set automatically when the plugin export the Figma design here to the Tableau result. This is actual worksheets that the Figma plugin created that of course you can replace by the actual worksheet. So really the plugin goals is to create all of the UI of your dashboard and then you can make your worksheet inside. So it just make all the design process of designing your dashboard much faster. This logo, of course, you can edit the image, you can edit the text, you can edit everything. It is a pure 100% Tableau dashboard. Okay, now let's say in our case, we already had some dashboard, right? We already had this Viz extension and this sales dashboard. Here we have like 4 worksheets and those 4 worksheets, and this dashboard doesn't necessarily look really good. So what can we do if we already have an existing workbook, an existing dashboard that we just want to redesign? So let's do that. Let's remove this. And now I'm going to the generate tab. Let's again call it sales. And then we can select, for example, this layout. I think this layout is perfect. We can configure the navigation if we want a logo, if we want navigation button, how many navigation button and their color. And then in the design tab, you can also select the background color, the title, color and size and other things. So once I'm ready, I can click generate. So again, we have another dashboard that is generated. And now if I go to export, I can select an existing workbook. So let's take this sales dashboard. And you will see that here we can find all of the worksheets that exist in my sales dashboard workbook. Now, if I want to replace those dummy worksheets by the actual one, I can just click here and say, this is KPI. This is my sales map. This is my sales by product and sales by segment. I can just remove that KPI title. And of course, that design, now I can just make the KPI part a bit smaller, just like that. And now if I export this dashboard as with the plugin, it's not named template, but it's called sales dashboard Figma to Tableau. And if I open this workbook, you will see that we will no longer have this old dashboard, but we will have all of the worksheets directly in a good looking dashboard. So let me show you. This was our previous sales dashboard, and now we have sales new. And if I open this one, we have a really good looking sales dashboard with exactly the same worksheet as in our previous one. So I didn't have to recreate anything, and our actions are still working. In our case, we also had like that Viz extension dashboard. So exactly following the same process, we could go next to it, click generate, call it Viz Extensions, say that it looks like this, click generate, and have our other dashboard for the Viz extension. Now these buttons here, they are actual navigation button. So you can see here they are called nav dashboard because they navigate to something called dashboard. If we want to synchronize, we can select both dashboard, go to navigation and say synchronize navigation. So now you can see the title change, and here the name of the Figma element also change. So on my Viz extension dashboard, I also need to replace the different worksheet. So this is sales by region, this is sales profit ratio, and this one is the sales by subcategory. Let's make this one a bit smaller, and we are ready. So now if I click on both worksheet, I can click export, replace the previous one that we had. And now if I open this one, we will no longer have just the sales dashboard that is redesigned, but also our Viz extension dashboard. So let me go to sales. So this we already had. And now if I click on Viz extension, we also had our Viz extension dashboard completely redesigned. So just like that, we have saved a lot of time, not having to deal with the containers, not having to create anything, and just letting the plugin generate those dashboards with us. Of course, if you have a different theme, you can change this background color. You can also add your own logo and everything. Okay, so this was the Figma to Tableau plugin, and I hope it shows you how we try to help you be more productive and more efficient with your dashboard. So from now on, you don't need to struggle anymore with containers. Then finally, before ending this presentation, I want to talk about our very last tool that we created, the Filter Manager. This tool, we actually noticed that it was something that was requested a lot by the community. We find an idea that was almost 10 years old that asked, hey, it would be nice to be able to add an apply button for a lot of filters at once. And yeah, currently in Tableau, if you want to add an apply button to a filter, you need to click and apply filter, and you need to do that for every filter in your dashboard. So there is no easy way to automatize that until today. Okay, for this last demo, let's take another version of the European Sample Superstore dashboard. And here we are going to add a few filters. So first, and you have noticed that if you have been using Tableau, if I want to add a filter, it will by default be this list, multiple value list in Tableau. So let's add a few more. So let's say we want to also filter by country. Let's say we also want to filter by order date, by region, by segment, by state, etc. So you see, as I add more and more filters, the filter pane gets more and more crowded, gets more and more packed. So almost all Tableau developers, what they will do is they will right click on the element, select multiple value dropdown, and then click again and go to customize and apply button. So when I select different things, I can make multiple selection before triggering the filter. So that's really good for performance. So I did it for category, but now I will need to do it for all of these filters. And if I look at my other dashboard, here I have other filters that I will need to do that. And here I have again a lot of other filters that I will need to again click, drop down, click again, and say that I want the apply button. So it's just a lot of time wasted. So in order to save you a lot of time, what we did is we created this tool. So you can go to our website, ladataviz.com, click on tools. Then if you go down, you will find the filter manager. And this is the tool that we created. So let's start by selecting our file. Let's take Superstore filter. And what you will see here is the list of the different dashboard that exist in our workbook, overview, order details, and customers. And you will see all of the filters that exist. So now if we want to apply button everywhere, and we already have one in category, the one that I just put, we can click apply button. Let's say that we want them all as multiple value dropdown, and we want them all as relevant values. So just like that, we have changed all of the filters at once. So now if I click generate, this creates a new workbook, Sample Superstore filtered. And if I open it, you will see that instead of having all of these filters like that, we should have all of the filters correctly. Yeah, perfect. So all of the filters are with the multiple value dropdown with the apply button. So this is exactly what we wanted. Let me go to order details, and you can see here is the same. All of our filters have the correct style with the apply button. The tool also, if I go back to the tool, you can also, if you go down, you can also see the filter analysis. So that is just a small helper that allow you to see all of the filters and what they are applied to. So you can quickly see, for example, category is applied to all using data source, city to, you can see the different actions and etc. So it's really something that is there to help you see and understand your different filter. So this was the filter manager. It's actually available today, so you can start using it right now. And that was our presentation. I hope I show you how you can revolutionize your Tableau experience. And really the main thing that you need to keep in mind is that loop of learning, experimenting, sharing, and then striving. Everything started with us trying to learn things outside of our comfort zone, starting to learn something new. And that was really the beginning point of us being much more successful with Tableau. If you want to continue to follow our work, we have a newsletter and we are available on most of the different social media and including YouTube. Thanks a lot for watching this presentation and see you soon.